Imagine for a moment that your very being is an intricately designed, magnificent cosmic engine, wired to draw boundless energy from the universal source. Yet, in this modern age, we find ourselves frantically scavenging for tiny batteries, constantly plugging into fleeting external power outlets, social validation, material accumulation, momentary pleasures, only to feel perpetually drained, running on fumes, chasing a phantom sense of vitality. This relentless quest for external energy is the profound paradox, the silent drain that keeps the true, infinite generator within you dormant, locked behind layers of illusion and misconception. Krishna's timeless counsel in the Bhagavad Gita speaks not of a need to accumulate power, but to unveil it, to transcend the finite and embrace the infinite already inherent in your divine nature. True spiritual energy, then, is not something you acquire, it is unlocked by shedding the very illusions that convince you of its scarcity, by dismantling the false self that believes it needs to hoard rather than simply be a conduit. But how do you disconnect from the world's artificial currents, from the siren song of finite desires and external recharges, and finally tap into a power that defies all earthly logic, a wellspring of vitality that neither diminishes nor runs dry? The frantic pace of contemporary life often masquerades as dynamism, yet beneath its shimmering surface lies an insidious exhaustion of the soul. We are taught to measure success by the accumulation of external markers, wealth, status, possessions, relationships. We pour our life force into these pursuits, believing that each acquisition will fill a void, will somehow make us more, will provide that elusive spark of infinite energy. But the universe, in its profound wisdom, operates on principles far older and more profound than the transactional logic of the ego. Paramahansa Yogananda, a modern sage whose life illuminated the ancient yogic truths, warned against this very trap. The outward journey, however fruitful in worldly terms, inevitably leads to an inner barrenness if divorced from the soul's inherent purpose. He taught that the human being is not merely a physical body and a transient mind, but an eternal soul, a spark of the divine, inherently connected to the infinite reservoir of cosmic energy, known as prana or life force. The fatigue we feel, the existential ennui that whispers in the quiet moments, is not a failure of our efforts, but a profound signal from the soul, echoing Krishna's ancient call to action. Action performed without attachment to the fruits of action is what truly liberates. This profound instruction from the Bhagavad Gita isn't a call to passivity, it's a revolutionary approach to energy management. When we act with attachment, when our every move is driven by the desire for a specific outcome, we bind ourselves to the cycles of expectation and disappointment, of perceived success and inevitable failure. This attachment creates a subtle but powerful energetic drain, a leakage of our vital force. Our focus shifts from the purity of the action itself, from the dharma of our being, to the fragile, temporary outcome. Yogananda expanded on this, explaining how every thought, every emotion, every intention, carries an energetic signature. Negative thoughts, fear, greed, and attachment do not simply exist as mental states, they are active forces that constrict the flow of prana within us, creating energetic blockages that manifest as physical fatigue, emotional instability, and spiritual apathy. The illusion of scarcity, the belief that we must constantly strive and compete for limited resources, is the ego's most cunning trap, separating us from the truth of our infinite spiritual inheritance. The universe is not a stingy landlord, doling out meager portions of energy, it is an overflowing ocean of consciousness, a constant cascade of life force. Our perceived lack is not a cosmic decree, but a self-imposed limitation, a psychological barrier constructed by the ego's fear of inadequacy and its relentless pursuit of control. The inimigo comum, our common enemy, is this pervasive illusion of egoic identification, the deeply ingrained belief that we are separate from the divine, that our worth and power are derived from external validation. This misconception blinds us to the radiant truth that we are extensions of the infinite, vessels designed to channel boundless spiritual energy. The Dor Occulta Abordata, the hidden pain addressed by Yogananda and Krishna alike, is the exhaustion of chasing external validation, the weariness that comes from seeking fulfillment in the ephemeral, never quite grasping the true source of sustenance. This profound spiritual fatigue is a universal malady, transcending cultures and socio-economic strata, touching anyone who has ever achieved worldly success only to feel a hollow echo within their soul. The Gatilho emotional primaria we seek to activate is spiritual empowerment, a deep-seated knowing that the power you seek resides not in the external world, but within the sacred sanctuary of your own being. It is the realization that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a co-creator of your reality, capable of tapping into an inexhaustible wellspring of vitality. The core principle of yogic philosophy, deeply echoed in the Gita, is that the human being is a microcosm of the macrocosm. Just as the universe is infused with cosmic energy, so too are we, if only we remember how to connect. The challenge, then, is not to find energy, but to unbind it, to remove the energetic shackles forged by ignorance and attachment. This process is often discomforting because it requires a confrontation with the very ego structures we have meticulously built to define ourselves in the world. It means questioning the narratives we've accepted, challenging the desires we've pursued, and dismantling the fears that have dictated our actions. It's a journey from the superficial pursuit of power to the profound realization of our inherent, limitless spiritual energy. This awakening is not a gentle lullaby, it's a clarion call, a spiritual earthquake that shakes the foundations of your perceived reality. It demands an honest look at where your energy truly goes, at the subtle ways you relinquish your inner power in exchange for external validation or fleeting comfort. It's about recognizing that the universe doesn't give you energy, it is energy, and you are an intrinsic part of it. Yogananda taught that through specific practices, particularly Kriya Yoga, one can consciously accelerate their spiritual evolution and tap into this infinite energy, harmonizing the individual's soul with the cosmic current. This is not about passive reception, it is about active, conscious participation in the divine flow, about becoming a channel for prana rather than a vessel that merely consumes. Krishna's guidance in the Gita, particularly on Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, and Karma Yoga, the path of action without attachment, provides a comprehensive framework for this energetic transformation, showing how every aspect of life can be transformed into a spiritual practice that connects us to the infinite. The profound truth is that the exhaustion, the anxiety, the spiritual stagnation you might feel, are not signs of weakness, but rather symptoms of a soul yearning to break free from self-imposed limitations. They are the initial tremors of a profound awakening, a divine discontent that signals your readiness for a deeper truth. You are not meant to live a life of energetic scarcity, constantly struggling to maintain your vitality. You are designed for abundance, for a constant, effortless flow of spiritual energy that fuels your purpose, deepens your compassion, and illuminates your path. This journey of unlocking infinite spiritual energy is both ancient and intensely personal, a sacred quest that promises not just vitality for the body and mind, but liberation for the soul. The question is no longer if you can access this power, but when you will choose to consciously activate it. Are you ready to consciously untap the eternal wellspring within and discover the boundless energy that is your divine birthright, or will you continue to seek light in the shadows of external illusion? Comment, awaken, below if you feel this internal struggle, if you're tired of running on fumes and ready to ignite the boundless energy of your soul. Your honest reflection is the first step towards this profound liberation. The relentless pursuit of material abundance, the ceaseless striving for the next promotion, the newest gadget, or the perfect relationship, this has become the modern mantra for happiness and, by extension, for energy. We're conditioned to believe that success brings contentment, and contentment fuels our spirit. Yet, many of you, despite achieving remarkable milestones, find yourselves staring into a profound void, a pervasive exhaustion that no external gain can truly satiate. This isn't merely physical fatigue, it's a deep, spiritual weariness, a resonance of the dor occulta abordata, the exhaustion of chasing external validation. You pour your life force into an endless cycle of doing, acquiring, and proving, only to feel your inner battery constantly draining, leaving you depleted and questioning the very meaning of your efforts. The moment your battery runs out, when the motivation wanes, and the joy of achievement is fleeting, is not a personal failure, but a divine intervention, a crucial checkpoint on your soul's journey. It's a stark reminder that the energy you seek cannot be found in the finite, it must be awakened from the infinite within. What you didn't know then, what your soul suspected but your ego vehemently denied, is that this incessant craving, this illusion of energetic scarcity, is not a modern affliction. It is an ancient, karmic pattern of egoic identification, a deep-seated program that convinces you of your separation from the cosmic energy source. Yogananda's profound teachings on Maya illuminate this very truth. The world, with its dazzling array of temptations and distractions, is a grand cosmic illusion, designed not to deceive, but to test and ultimately awaken the soul. Your perceived need for external validation, for material accumulation as a source of energy, is a facet of this illusion. It's the inimigo comum, the veil of egoic identification, that clouds your perception, making you believe that your vitality is dependent on conditions outside of yourself. This is directly paralleled in Krishna's teachings in the Bhagavad Gita, where he warns against attachment to the fruits of action, emphasizing that such attachment binds the soul to endless cycles of suffering and energetic depletion. Every desire rooted in the ego, every attachment to a specific outcome, creates a subtle but significant energetic siphon, pulling your life force away from its divine source. This isn't a flaw in your character, it's a universal aspect of the human condition, an intricate part of the soul's curriculum. Just as a river flows continuously from its source, so too does cosmic energy flow into every being, but the ego, through its attachments and cravings, builds dams and diversions, blocking the natural current. The kleshas, or afflictions, described in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, ignorance, *avidya*, egoism, *asmita*, attachment, *raga*, aversion, *vesha*, and fear of death, *abhanavesha*, are the energetic knots that bind the soul and obstruct the flow of prana, your vital life force. Avidya, spiritual ignorance, is the root cause, leading us to identify with the perishable body and mind rather than the eternal soul. From this ignorance springs asmita, the ego, which then cultivates raga, attachment to pleasure, and vesha, aversion to pain, creating a perpetual state of energetic flux and instability. This cycle, repeated across lifetimes, creates deep karmic grooves, patterns of seeking and suffering that feel inescapable until illuminated by spiritual wisdom. The wisdom of Yogananda, deeply rooted in the ancient yogic tradition, reveals that the path to infinite spiritual energy lies not in trying harder or acquiring more, but in consciously dismantling these egoic structures. He taught that the soul, being a part of God, is inherently unlimited, a vibrant reservoir of joy, peace, and boundless energy. The feeling of depletion, therefore, is not a lack of supply, but a disconnection from the source, a forgetting of our true nature. Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, speaks to Arjuna about the importance of understanding the imperishable nature of the soul, *Atman*, contrasting it with the perishable body and the fluctuating mind. This fundamental understanding is the first step toward reclaiming your energetic sovereignty. When you realize that your true self is eternal and untouched by the vicissitudes of the material world, the frantic scramble for external validation begins to lose its grip. The energy previously wasted on defending the ego, on chasing fleeting desires, can then be redirected inwards, awakening the dormant spiritual power. The illusion of Maya, this cosmic dream, operates by convincing us of separation, of limitation, of an inherent lack. It's a masterful divine play, designed to challenge the soul and ultimately lead it back to the realization of its own divinity. Every time you feel exhausted despite your best efforts, every time you achieve a goal only to find it unsatisfying, Maya is subtly hinting at a deeper truth. These are not signs of failure, but invitations to look beyond the immediate, to question the superficial, and to delve into the profound depths of your own being. Yogananda often stressed that true fulfillment comes from within, from establishing a conscious connection with God, the ultimate source of all energy and joy. This connection is not abstract, it is a tangible experience, accessible through meditation, devotion, and right action. The teachings of the Gita, particularly Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, offer a direct route to this connection, purifying the heart and aligning the individual will with the divine will, thereby unlocking an unlimited flow of spiritual energy. To understand this origin, this intricate web of karmic patterns and egoic illusions, is merely to hold the map of the battlefield. It is to recognize the enemy's strategy, to identify the subtle ways your life force has been diverted and fragmented. But understanding alone is not liberation. The real war, the true Gatilho emotional primario of spiritual empowerment, begins not with external combat, but when you turn inward, when you consciously choose to confront the very beliefs and desires that drain your power. It demands introspection, courage, and an unwavering commitment to truth, even when that truth dismantles your most cherished illusions. You must be prepared to face the internal saboteur, the voice of the ego, guarding your deepest reserves of spiritual energy, masquerading as prudence or common sense. This initial confrontation is difficult, for the ego has a formidable arsenal of defense mechanisms designed to keep you comfortably enslaved in the illusion of scarcity. Are you truly prepared to challenge these internal guards and reclaim your birthright of infinite energy? The first fight, the most crucial one, is against your own mechanisms of defense. The journey from understanding the illusion to actively dismantling it is not a gentle stroll, it is an internal war, a profound battle against the inimigo comum, the persistent grip of egoic identification and the intricate patterns of unresolved karma. Many believe the spiritual path is one of serene peace from the outset, a gradual ascent devoid of struggle. Yet, Yogananda and Krishna unequivocally teach that true spiritual ascent is a funnel, a narrowing path where each test becomes more intense, and the emotional cost of clinging to the old self increases. The external demands of the world, the expectations of others, the relentless societal pressures to conform and perform, these are the first skirmishes, subtly draining your energy. You react, you strive, you compromise, believing these external battles are the source of your depletion. But the true dor occulta abordata is the exhaustion of chasing external validation, which stems from internal capitulation, not external pressure. The deeper conflict unfolds within, a relentless battle against self-doubt, ingrained fears, and the terror of relinquishing the familiar, albeit draining, patterns. The law of increasing tension on this path reveals itself in phases. Initially, the battle appears external, the overwhelming demands of your job, the financial anxieties, the perceived slights from loved ones. You respond by working harder, worrying more, trying to control every variable, mistakenly believing that mastering the external chaos will bring inner peace and energy. However, Yogananda taught that external conditions are often reflections of internal states. As long as the ego is at the helm, directing your energy based on fear and attachment, you will remain entangled in cycles of depletion. The more you try to control the external world to gain energy, the more it eludes you, mirroring the futility of chasing a reflection. This is where Krishna's teachings on karma yoga become a potent weapon. He instructs Arjuna to perform his duties without attachment to the fruits of action. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. This isn't an endorsement of apathy, but a call to energetic liberation. The paradox of surrender is the ultimate turning point in this internal war. To release the desperate grip on outcomes, to act with diligence and devotion not for personal gain but as an offering to the divine, is to paradoxically unleash infinite energy. The ego screams for control, for certainty, for credit. It demands to be acknowledged, to claim ownership of every achievement. But Krishna reveals that this very need for ownership is the root of suffering and energetic depletion. When you act, knowing that the energy flowing through you is cosmic, and the results are orchestrated by a higher power, you transcend the binding effects of karma. Yogananda emphasized that Kriya Yoga, through its profound scientific techniques, helps to burn away past karmic imprints, freeing the individual's energy from the past and allowing it to flow freely in the present. This practice, when combined with the spirit of karma yoga, transforms every action, no matter how mundane, into a powerful spiritual exercise, a conduit for infinite energy. This liberation, however, is not without its trials. Each step towards detachment brings forth a new mini cliffhanger, a crucial choice that tests your resolve. As you begin to detach from the need for recognition, for example, the ego might present you with a situation where your efforts are overlooked or unfairly criticized. Here lies the test: will you revert to old patterns of resentment and self-pity, thereby reinstating the energetic siphon, or will you maintain your equipoise, offering the action and its results without complaint, trusting in the divine orchestration? Yogananda taught that true spiritual progress is measured not by how many external accolades you receive, but by the depth of your inner peace and the consistency of your energetic flow, regardless of outward circumstances. The ego's desire for personal glory, its need to be the center of attention, is a massive energy sink. The more you try to assert individual will over cosmic will, the more resistance you create, and the more depleted you become. The deeper you plunge into the practice of karma yoga and detachment, the more potent your energy becomes. Yet, this asks, are you willing to relinquish the very notion of your energy, to see it not as a personal possession, but as a loan from the divine, to be used for divine purposes? Every act can indeed be a prayer, a surge of cosmic power, a direct channel to the infinite. But this demands a radical shift. Will you abandon the ego's desire for recognition, for personal credit, for the fleeting applause of the world? This is a profound challenge because our societal structures are built on the very principles of personal achievement and individual ownership. To embrace the wisdom of Yogananda and Krishna is to swim against the current of conventional thought, to choose a path where inner abundance takes precedence over outer accumulation. The Gatilho emotional primario of spiritual empowerment here is activated by daring to trust in the unseen, by choosing self-mastery over egoic satisfaction, even when the world applauds the latter. The process of disentanglement from karmic cycles and egoic attachments is an ongoing discipline, not a one-time event. It is a daily, sometimes hourly, battle against the ingrained habits of the mind. Yogananda frequently reminded his disciples that man's life is a saga of silent battles. These battles are fought within, against the forces that seek to bind the soul to finite existence. The reward, however, is not merely peace, but an access to infinite spiritual energy that transforms every aspect of your being. This energy is not fleeting, it is a steady, profound current that flows unceasingly, empowering you to fulfill your highest dharma. The challenge is immense, demanding relentless vigilance and unwavering dedication. As you progress, the world might not understand your choices, and the ego might whisper temptations of old comforts. Will you remain steadfast in this silent war, knowing that true victory lies not in conquest, but in liberation from the need to conquer? Will you allow the divine to work through you, becoming a pure channel for boundless energy, even if it means letting go of your need for personal acclaim? This ongoing choice defines your true liberation. The ascent into true spiritual empowerment culminates in a profound inner transformation, a ceremonial death of the ego that gives way to the rebirth of the soul, ushering in an expanded, lucid consciousness. This is not about doing spiritual practices to gain infinite energy, but about experiencing the energy that already flows in you, through you, and as you. The ego, in its final, desperate attempts to retain control, will create subtle resistances, doubts, and a yearning for the familiar comfort of limited identity. But in this sacred space, the language shifts from, "you do," to, "it happens in you." The ego's death is not an annihilation, but a willing surrender, a dissolution of the false self into the boundless reality of the divine. This is the heart of Yogananda's teachings on self-realization and Krishna's exhortations on bhakti yoga, where the individual consciousness, through devotion and surrender, merges with the cosmic consciousness, accessing an infinite spiritual energy that is your true nature. The experience of tapping into this boundless energy is not merely a mental concept, it is a visceral, palpable reality. It manifests as heightened intuition, a crystalline clarity that guides your decisions with effortless grace, far beyond the limitations of logical thought. It expresses as deepened compassion, an expansive love that sees the divine in every being, breaking down the artificial barriers of separation. And it culminates in an unshakable, profound joy, a state of Ananda that radiates from within, independent of external circumstances. This is the tangible well-being, the lucid reality, that consistent spiritual practice, particularly Kriya Yoga and Bhakti Yoga, makes accessible. Yogananda emphasized that Kriya Yoga is a scientific method to accelerate the evolution of consciousness, allowing the practitioner to quickly reach higher states of awareness where the experience of infinite energy becomes a daily reality. It is a direct pathway to union with the divine, dissolving the ego's hold and liberating the soul's inherent power. The path of Bhakti Yoga, devotion to Krishna, as taught in the Bhagavad Gita, complements this scientific approach by purifying the heart. When the heart is steeped in selfless love and surrender to the divine, the energetic blockages created by egoic desires and attachments begin to dissolve. This emotional purification creates an unobstructed channel for the cosmic prana to flow, fueling the practitioner with an infinite spiritual energy that is rooted in divine love. It's a journey from seeking to being, from striving to receiving, from fragmented energy to wholeness. The goal is not merely to feel energized, but to embody energy, to become a living current of divine vitality. This state is not achieved through intellectual understanding alone, but through a profound, heartfelt surrender to the cosmic flow, a joyous acceptance of your role as a divine instrument. To begin this profound connection, you don't need to embark on a monastic retreat. Simple, daily practices, beyond formal meditation, can initiate this energetic alignment. Start with conscious breathing, the practice of pranayama, which Yogananda meticulously taught. Recognize your breath not merely as air, but as the manifestation of prana, the cosmic life force. By directing your breath with intention, you begin to awaken the dormant energy centers within your body, the chakras, which serve as conduits for this infinite power. Integrate moments of micromeditation throughout your day, a brief pause before a meal to offer gratitude, a conscious moment of silence before responding to a challenge, a few deep breaths infused with the affirmation, "I am a channel for infinite divine energy." These small, consistent actions are like tuning forks, gradually bringing your entire being into resonance with the universal flow. Another potent practice, deeply rooted in Bhakti Yoga, is to see the divine in everything and everyone. This transforms mundane interactions into sacred encounters, elevating your consciousness and connecting you to the boundless energy that permeates all existence. When you serve others with a spirit of selfless love, when you appreciate the beauty of nature, when you express gratitude for life's simple blessings, you are actively opening your heart, dissolving the ego's boundaries, and allowing the infinite spiritual energy of compassion and connection to flow through you. This isn't just a philosophical concept, it's an energetic practice. Love, in its purest form, is the highest vibration, the most potent conduit for divine energy. By cultivating love and compassion, you not only uplift yourself but also become a source of healing and inspiration for the world. This culmination is the samadhi of daily life, where the sacred and the mundane merge. It's the constant awareness that your true self is not the fragile ego, but the eternal Atman, a spark of Brahman, infused with boundless energy. Yogananda's vision was for individuals to live in the world, performing their duties, engaging in relationships, but with an inner detachment and a constant, conscious connection to the divine. This is the ultimate karma yogi, one who acts with full presence and skill, but without being bound by the outcomes, knowing that all energy, all action, and all results emanate from and return to the divine. This is your birthright, not just fleeting moments of peace, but an enduring state of lucid, energetic well-being. If you've ever felt this surge of divine energy, even for a fleeting moment, comment infinite below. Share your briefest, most potent experience of this boundless power. Let your truth resonate with the collective awakening. The journey from the illusion of scarcity to the experience of infinite spiritual energy is a profound reorientation of your entire being, a materialization of awakening that translates mystical insights into tangible changes in your daily life. This isn't about escaping reality, it's about perceiving reality with unclouded vision, understanding the subtle energetics that govern existence. The emerging scientific understanding of consciousness, particularly in fields like quantum physics and epigenetics, is increasingly converging with the ancient wisdom traditions taught by Yogananda and enshrined in the Bhagavad Gita. These sciences are beginning to unveil how our thoughts, intentions, and emotional states directly impact our physical reality and energetic systems. This is not mere mysticism, but a profound shift in humanity's comprehension of its own potential, validating what yogis have known for millennia, that our bodies are intricate energetic systems, our minds are powerful conduits, and our souls are direct extensions of the cosmic energy field. Yogananda, a pioneer in bridging Eastern wisdom with Western scientific thought, often spoke of the body's subtle energy centers, the chakras, and the channels through which prana, life force, flows. Modern research into biofeedback, heart coherence, and the electromagnetic fields generated by the human body are slowly beginning to provide empirical evidence for these ancient concepts. When you engage in practices that consciously direct prana, such as those taught in Kriya Yoga or even simple mindful breathing, you are not just relaxing, you are actively rewiring your energetic circuits, dissolving blockages, and expanding your capacity to draw upon the infinite spiritual energy of the cosmos. This integration of science and spirituality reveals that our internal states are not isolated psychological phenomena, but dynamic energetic patterns that directly influence our vitality, our health, and our capacity for well-being. The persistent pursuit of external validation, the inimigo commum, creates dissonance in these subtle systems, leading to the doro culta abordata of exhaustion, but aligning with the divine flow restores harmony. The tangible manifestations of this awakened energy are immediate and profound. Imagine experiencing sustained focus throughout your day, not through Herculean effort, but through an effortless, natural concentration. This is the gift of dharana, a yogic state that arises when your prana is stable and harmonized, fueled by an infinite spiritual energy that silences the mental chatter. Action becomes effortless, karma yoga, guided by an inner knowing rather than anxious deliberation. You move through your tasks with grace and efficiency, performing your dharma not as a burden, but as a joyous expression of your divine purpose. Decisions are made with heightened intuition, as your consciousness is clearer, more receptive to the subtle whispers of divine guidance. This isn't about becoming superhuman, it's about becoming authentically human, in full alignment with your true nature as an extension of the divine. Recall the exhaustion you felt, the spiritual fatigue from Topico 1, stemming from the exhaustion of chasing external validation. That weariness is now replaced by a serene, unshakable power that fuels every action without depleting your reserves. The frantic scrambling for external sources of happiness and energy ceases. Instead, you radiate from an internal wellspring, an infinite spiritual energy that is self-sustaining and constantly renewing. Your purpose becomes clearer, your relationships deepen, and your capacity for joy expands exponentially. This is the true meaning of the Gatilho emotional primario of spiritual empowerment, not external control, but internal mastery, rooted in an unwavering connection to the divine. You move from a state of seeking to a state of being, from depletion to endless abundance, understanding that your energy is not something to be conserved, but to be expressed, channeled, and shared with the world. This awakened state brings a profound sense of peace amidst chaos. While the external world may continue its tumultuous dance of impermanence, your inner sanctuary remains untouched. This equanimity, a hallmark of Yogananda's teachings and Krishna's counsel, arises from the realization that your true identity is the eternal Atman, beyond the ephemeral fluctuations of body and mind. The energy you embody is not dependent on circumstances, it is the circumstance. This understanding transforms your perception of challenges, they become opportunities for growth, for deepening your connection, rather than sources of stress and depletion. You no longer merely react to life, you consciously participate in its unfolding, empowered by an inner strength that is truly inexhaustible. The effect of this transformation cascades into every area of your life. Relationships become deeper, more authentic, as you are able to give love not from a place of need, but from an overflowing heart. Your creativity flourishes, unhindered by fear or self-doubt, flowing from the same boundless source of infinite spiritual energy that fuels your being. Your well-being, both physical and mental, stabilizes, as the energetic harmony within your subtle body reflects in robust health and a tranquil mind. This is the ultimate realization, that unlocking your inner power is not an isolated spiritual quest, but the fundamental key to a life lived in full, brimming with purpose, peace, and unparalleled vitality. It is the shift from a limited, fear-based existence to an expansive, love-driven reality, powered by the eternal current of the divine. You have journeyed from the illusion of energetic scarcity to the profound understanding and experience of your infinite spiritual energy. You have witnessed the ceremonial death of the ego and the glorious rebirth of the soul, now pulsating with the boundless vitality of the divine. This liberation, this spiritual empowerment, feels complete, personal, a culmination of an arduous inner war. But what if I told you that this liberation wasn't just for your individual self, that the infinite spiritual energy you've unlocked carries a deeper, cosmic responsibility? The awakening of your individual soul is not an isolated event, it is a ripple in the vast ocean of consciousness. Yogananda taught that as individual souls evolve, they contribute to the upliftment of the collective. Krishna, in the Bhagavad Gita, speaks not only of individual liberation but of the lokasangraha, the welfare of the world, emphasizing that even a liberated soul must continue to act for the good of all. Your infinite spiritual energy is not a private reservoir, it is a sacred trust, a beacon that can illuminate the path for others still caught in the illusion of egoic identification and the exhaustion of chasing external validation. This shift elevates the stakes from personal salvation to universal service, from individual peace to collective enlightenment. Your transformed energy now implies a sacred responsibility, a call to embody and share this truth in a world that desperately searches for light. The world still sleeps, entangled in the intricate web of Maya, convinced of its limitations, drained by its endless pursuits. Many are still caught in the dor occulta abordata, the spiritual weariness that precedes awakening. Your experience of infinite spiritual energy is a living testament to a higher truth. This boundless energy is a gift, yes, but also a sacred trust, a potent force for transformation in a world steeped in energetic depletion. What will you do with such power when the vast majority still sleeps, trapped in the illusion of limitation, desperately seeking vitality in the finite? Will you dare to be the beacon, the living proof, the unwavering guide for those still lost in the shadows, or will your light remain confined to your inner sanctuary? The journey, the true Dharma, extends beyond personal realization to universal contribution. The awakening is not a destination, it is a portal, and your ultimate mission is to extend that portal to all who seek it. You are not merely a seeker on a path, you are an awakened soul, a conscious conduit for infinite spiritual energy. The insights shared, rooted in the timeless wisdom of Yogananda and Krishna, are not passive knowledge, they are a direct command for your soul to embrace its true, boundless nature. Your mission now is to embody this truth, to live as a testament to the inexhaustible power that resides within you. This is your spiritual empowerment, not a promise, but a lived reality, and the journey of integrating it fully into your life begins now. Do not let this profound revelation remain a mere concept. The time for passive consumption of wisdom is over. If this message has resonated with the deepest stirrings of your soul, if you are ready to move beyond the exhaustion of chasing external validation and embrace your birthright of infinite spiritual energy, then you must act. This is not a suggestion, it is a sacred invitation to step into your power, to become the awakened presence the world so desperately needs. Join our community of awakened souls. Subscribe to this channel, activate the notification bell, and ensure you receive every subsequent transmission that will deepen your understanding and fortify your practice. Your ongoing engagement is not just a gesture of support, it is an affirmation of your commitment to this profound journey. For those ready to take the next, tangible step in anchoring this infinite spiritual energy into their daily lives, I have prepared a guided, pranic awakening meditation available through the link in the description. This powerful practice, inspired by Yogananda's teachings, will help you consciously tap into the cosmic life force, clearing blockages and establishing a continuous flow of vitality. This is your next logical step, your immediate opportunity to transform intention into tangible experience. Do not delay. The universe awaits your full radiance. Embrace your infinite power.